Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Here we are, a new week. Sorry that last week we didn't have video, but I had some free days and now, well, I'll try to go quickly because we have lots of things going on and lots of things happened since last video. Right, first of all, as usual, remember that this is not financial advice. This is just my own personal opinion. And please do make your own research before you take any trades. Right, let's go. So we start here with Bitcoin because, well, Bitcoin is being going up. It went here, we can see that it went up heavily since we had this retracement. It went up almost to the all-time high, and it looks very likely that it will reach the all-time high. At the moment, as you see here, we are very close to this key level. This key level, which is previous all-time high from last cycle. I mark for you guys here some important order blocks. So we have here the order block that we need to break in order to become bullish. It looks like it is going to happen. I mean, remember that nothing is written on stone here on the markets, but we go around with probabilities. So it looks probable that we will break this order block, and I will continue with the I will confirm this with the other analysis that we are going to do with the stock market analysis that we'll see in a minute. Right, so as I said previously, well, we came down to almost touch this key level, and from here we recover, and then we are trying to gain this other key level. So if you can see here, I just wanted to zoom out a little bit for you guys. When you have like a consolidation here, then you have an impulse to the upside here, then normally it is very likely for the market to come down and touch these previous peaks, right? So you can see that. So in this case, we don't have, at the moment, we don't have any other previous peak to touch. So the peak that we have now here is this one. So it looks like the market can do something like this. It looks like we could do something like this, like from here take an impulse to the upside and then come down to confirm this peak, right? Confirm this peak and then continue up if this is going to continue up. Or the alternative is that because this can also fail. So imagine if here from here this impulse, we had something and not so good for the economy at this point, then it breaks down here. So the other possibility is that we break here, and then when we are confirming this, instead of going up, we start to go down. So that is the second option. So, but normally the market comes and confirms these peaks and then takes the decision of going up or breaking down. So it looks, that's why I'm saying that at the moment it looks, if we break this order block, then we might go up and then come here to reconfirm and break down, or reconfirm and continue up. So those are my main scenarios that I personally considering right now. But remember that we have to check step by step and see how things develop. So at the moment we haven't managed to break this order block. We're finding support on this key level, but we have this big important gap here on the daily time frame. So I can put it for you guys here. So we have this daily fair value gap here, which is quite a large gap. So market also likes coming and fill these gaps at least partially. So as we have another one here that is still unfilled. This was partially filled because the gap was from here to here originally, and you can see here that it was partially filled here with the other one. So almost half of it was filled here with this latest retracement, but this was not fully filled. So it might be that in the future, during a bear market, we'll come and fill it, or might be that we never fill it. But at the moment, we fill half of it. So here, well, we might expect to at least fill part of it in the coming days if this is going to happen, or we can just continue up, because look, this was a bigger gap, and it just came to fill partially a little bit here with some wicks. and then continue up. So we might do the same. We just tip here a wick and then continue up, or just completely continue up without touching it. So I'm just describing the scenarios in case we see that the market starts going down. Well, this is the most likely place that it will stop. And if the market is really bullish, then we will continue up without touching this fair value gap. Right. So now let's go to, I wanted to show you something very important here on crypto. Let's stay with crypto because Bitcoin dominance is going down. It looks like we made a peak here. We found a peak here. Then from here we had a drop. Then tried to revisit this peak, didn't manage to pass this, and now we are going down. So it means that Bitcoin dominance is going down. So this is good news for the alts, right? So, and for instance, you can see here that Ethereum dominance is going up on the other hand. So Ethereum is going up. So while Bitcoin dominance is coming down, Ethereum dominance is coming up. But if we add Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the major stable coins dominance, then we see that all combined, they are also coming down, which is good news for the alts again. So it means that we can have a good pump on some alts, but remember, be careful, because all depends on what Bitcoin is going to do. So, and remember that, as I said at the beginning, this is not financial advice. You have to be careful and analyze and make your own research before you trade anything. Right. So, for instance, Ethereum, as we saw that its dominance was going up. So now I mark for you guys, well, as the usual key levels that we mark, I mark here for you some order blocks, important order blocks. So we have this order block that we came here precisely here to touch this order block, but we didn't pass this order block. So at the moment we are finding rejection here again, because we have here these two large candles that it is likely that we come down to touch and take some liquidity that was trapped here on these gaps. And from here, if the scenario is bullish, we continue up. Otherwise, look, these are big gaps. These are really big gaps for the price. So from here, this is a gap that is very looking like it is going to be filled at some point, right? So it might be now, it might be if this bearish momentum continues down, then we might even come here to these levels and filling this partially, at least partially, this gap. So because we did this, came to this one, so now either we stay here and we go up, or the other scenario would be like we did this, we're now coming down, and then we do something like this, and then we fill partially this gap. So that would be the bearish scenario. So but we have to pay attention. At the moment, that is not looking likely. It looks like this big gap here is gonna be filled in the future, or probably never filled. So we have to just stay alert. For instance, look, it's roughly the same size of this gap, and this gap, well, first we went up, and then we came down to fill this gap later. Look, with this candle was the candle that took all the liquidity that was here and here down here. So we might even experience a candle like that fills all this in just one day, one candle. This is a daily chart, so this is a one-day candle. So we can never rule out these possibilities. So at the moment, what we see is that we are having a small rejection from here. Let's see where do we stop, and from where we stop, we can take a decision to see if we go up or we go down, right? So Solana is also looking bullish at the moment. It has, I mark you here some of the important order blocks. So this order block to confirm bullish momentum at the moment is with this order block. If we find support here, well, we would confirm bullish momentum, and if we cross this order block, then we would definitely have double confirmation of bullish momentum. So at the moment it's looking bullish. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of green candles. So probably we have a small retracement before we continue up, or probably goes directly to this order block. So let's go quickly to where I wanted to clarify, as I said at the beginning of the video, why everything is looking bullish at the moment. Well, we have here, I want to start with the DXY, with the dollar index. The dollar is looking weak. The dollar is at the moment looking very weak globally. So especially because, well, the other central banks have already started to cut rates, interest rates. So Swiss National Bank cut interest rate, European Central Bank cut interest rates, and also some emerging economies are cutting rates like India, Mexico. So that's why everybody is thinking that that it is time for the Fed, for the U.S. Central Bank to cut rates. Probably they've been very negative about this, so they still don't want to cut rates. So it is probably the last meeting that is going to be actually next week. So we need to be careful what's going on next week. Probably this is going to be the last meeting when they maintain the current interest rates, or maybe they give the surprise and they already cut. So, but at the moment the consensus is that they will stay with the same interest rates, and then in the next one they will lower interest rates. So that's why the dollar is looking weak. So that's why the dollar, for instance, here you can see here that we have this key level. We came up, we went up from this key level, but we didn't manage to stay above this key level. Look, we try again to break this key level up, but then we have this huge candle, rejection candle to the downside, and then we stay now low. So we are also breaking this triangle. We are also breaking it to the downside. So everything is bearish at the moment on the dollar index. So we have these important key levels, this important order block, this order block that now is quite far away. So doesn't look likely that we go up here in the coming future, in the recent, in the more next future. And it looks more likely that we will come to revisit this lower level. And then from this lower level, then we will see if we find support here and stay in a range here, or if we definitely break down to this other key order block. So at the moment it's looking bearish, and if the dollar is looking bearish, then this is positive, at least for the stock market. For other assets like gold or Bitcoin. That's why I'm saying that Bitcoin has a high probability to break to the upside. Right? So we can now see the indices, the American indices quickly. So you have here the US 30. The US 30 is the one that has been a bit slower in comparison to the other indices, because it is still far from its peak, from its previous peak, but is going up. So you can see here that we came down, the recent market crash that we had with all the tariffs in April, and then we have been recovering. So here was the confirmation, because we went, we tried to go down this key level, but we went up again, and now we are above this key level clearly and trying to break this other resistance level. So now the other level that we have, this is an important other block. We might come down to find support on this other block, or maybe not, because we already found here support. We might just continue our move to the upside, something like this. Right, so this is what is looking at the moment, especially with the dollar going down. Now, but remember, this can be a surprise next week. So pay attention to what happens. At the moment, the market is going to be probably not so volatile, as we can see here with the volatile index that is not very volatile, because probably everyone is waiting for the decision from next week. because here, look, even we're on this order block, we are even breaking to the downside this order block. It means that volatility is very, very low at the moment. So at some point it will come up, and then it will have the big moves on the stock and market and on Bitcoin, right? So let's see what's going to happen with the stocks. At the moment is calm, as I said. We might stay here for a few days until we find the Fed's decision. On the US 500, on the other hand, this is going faster than the US 30. You can see here that we had a huge recovery. So we had a V recovery actually. So we are very close to the all-time high, and it is very likely, it's looking that it is at least is gonna try this order block that is here at the top and see if it breaks to the upside to make a new all-time high. The US 2000, well, US 2000 is like the US 30, it's a bit slower, it's still far from its peak, but it managed to pass this important resistance level. So now we have these two key order blocks here that we might come down a little bit here, find support here, and then continue up. Depends on what's going to happen next week. The US Nasdaq, the tech, well, we broke to the upside this important trend line, so it means we are going on a bullish momentum with bullish trajectory. So we are very close to the all-time high. Again, we have this order block here that we will, at the beginning, well, we will try to pass it. It will probably take some effort here to go up, and then if it breaks, it will just easily go and take this all-time high. Sorry. So just quickly, just to finish, guys, so what's going on with silver and with gold? Well, silver went crazy, as you see, well, because dollar, as we saw, it was going down. Then silver went crazy. We had this huge move to the upside, but now we have these important gaps here that it can be possible that the market will come, or at least fill them partially, at least with a wick. We broke this trend line aggressively to the upside. We broke this key level, and now we touch this important order block that comes from way long in the past. You can see here. So we'll see if the dollar continues to weaken. Well, we might go and pass this important order block. The gold is the same that was silver, so now gold is still, it was losing some steam here. The gold, it looks like with this candle we can see here that probably some of traders, they took benefits. They, at least partially, they sold their positions after such a big rally. Well, you would like to take some benefits, because we got to the 3,500 price mark, so they took benefits here, and then the dollar then went down, found some support here around, as I said previously. Normally it does it at the previous peak, so this was the previous peak, then here is where we found support, and then we continue up. So now, well, it is on a bit of indecision, because if key players took benefits here, well, they probably are not going to buy right now. That's why the gold is not going having an impulse as silver. So probably some of the investors that went took benefits on gold, probably they moved their money to silver, and that's why we saw this big impulse on silver. So now gold, well, if the dollar continues to weaken, so because the dollar, as we said, is looking weak at the moment, so it probably will break this order block and then find support here and continue its trajectory to the upside. On the other hand, it might be that gold just comes here and finds rejection again and comes down to try again this order block, this support level, and then from here decides if going down or going up. So that will depend on the decision of next week. So we, at the moment, it looks like it's gonna be a bit lateral as it has been from the past days. We might be just lateral another few days until we find this decision. But we are properly respecting this trend line, so it's still on a up trajectory, even though this correction here. So we have to see what happens next week. But at the moment, it's looking bullish, especially with the dollar looking bearish. All right, guys, so I hope this was not too long, but there were lots of things to talk about. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.